started playing together in what, 97?
Yeah, there's lots of history about the band. Me and Peanut and Nick went to school together. We were in bands and played such illustrious venues as the Lawns of Arms when we were younger, when we were like 16 and stuff.
And the Grove in Newwood. You said, don't look for it, it's not there anymore.
And then me and Peanut went to university elsewhere, and Nick and Ricky and Whitey first formed a band that was called Runston Parva in 1997 with limited success. Now actually quite a reasonable success
on the Leeds scene,
around the Leeds scene. So, played at the Dutchies and all those kind of places. And then in 2000, lots of ins and outs of band members happened, and finally me and Peanut broke in. And I think it was 2000, wasn't it? Summer 2000, Parva began with the lineup, which is currently gone through all the rigmarole of being Parva, finished that, and then become Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah. So when you kind of started out in 2000 as Parva, I mean, what was Leeds kind of like then as a sort of city to kind of set yourself up in, sort of pick up an audience? Different
it was just kind of it's just around the time where people talk about when all the venues, like when the Dutchies closed around that time, I think, and TNC as well became a super club. And so the venues,
super being the word.
the venues like Dutch as well was just starting to get like really popular, and it had bands every night and stuff. So that was kind of, I think, I don't know, we weren't, because we'd been outside the music scene, me and Peter kind of come in, we kind of recorded, and then we got signed as Parva, and we did lots of, we weren't really involved as much in the Leeds music scene as maybe we were later. So we did gigs in Leeds and stuff, but we didn't know like all the people and stuff. And I think as well, when did Dave Sugden set up Leeds music scene, the website?
98, 2000.
Because that's what I think that was quite good. And I remember that first appearing, and that was about the time when we were just kind of doing beginnings of Parva, and it'd been really good.
It was pivotal in bringing the Leeds music scene together, wasn't it? That it actually did create its name, the name of the site. I think did create the Leeds music scene a bit. It's only a website. I mean, that's fair enough, but it is a place where everyone, you can look at all the gigs everywhere. You can read about every single band and more or less that is in Leeds, and look at all the listings and discuss things and stuff. And also, really, I'm sure people met at venues and at the parish and the fence, and people met up and talked about things, but you didn't get 500-600 people at once, all reading the same information and finding out about the new Leeds bands. Who's the next sort of big thing that's going to come out.
Just like it's good. A message board, there's some, well, there used to at least be quite a lot of some bitchiness and stuff, but like, I don't know if that exists still or not. I don't really some stuff. But it's just like, I remember as well, like kind of getting your first reviews. This is the internet generally, I think, as well. You get your first reviews, and then you've got something out there which is in writing that you can show to people and go, look, this person came to the gig and they thought it was good, so they definitely get other gigs. Or
spread the word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. So then anyway, I was talking about something else.
You sort of saying, when you got signed, I mean, what was that? Was that kind of an unusual thing for a Leeds band to get signed, sort of, when you started the first time? Right?
The only other band, well, there's Embrace, who aren't really from Leeds really, and the music got signed, and we got signed. I think everyone was a bit surprised because we hadn't really been around that long. But
we've done what we're supposed to do, which is we worked hard at writing what we thought we played them convincingly. We thought were good songs, and there were some good songs in there. And by not playing every week in Leeds, at a different venue, by trying to build a bit of a buzz, so you play one gig and it was really good that, and then you don't play them again for another 3 months. People are looking forward to the next one, rather than we're at the Fruition this week and the Well next week, and so that sort of thing. So we kind of, even at that early stage, we were learning sort of lessons, and working out how to do things correctly and properly. So when we got signed, it was, anyone who gets, you feel justified, don't you? Because you feel like you've worked hard to get there, and you've earned it. And
we kind of think that, which is kind of not in a big-headed way, that when the music got signed and we got signed last time, then shortly afterwards, maybe in the remaining months after that, then like Sammy SA got signed, 10,000 Things got signed, Blueskins got signed, Clues got signed. There's loads of bands all kind of got signed all around the same time. So we kind of thought that there was, that was the first time bands kind of got signed, and then again I think around the time we got signed the second time was Kaiser Chiefs. There's another spurt of bands that got signed, which is still kind of, I don't know, it's still kind of going on, isn't it? Jules just got signed, and maybe people like Ford Rushing looking like they might do it. So it's all very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what was your kind of experience with sort of, you know, being sort of involved with labels and that sort of thing first time around?
It didn't
really pan out, did it?
No, well, it didn't pan out, but you don't know what to expect. We're quite lucky, we're quite fortunate that, you know, we got the second chance to do it again. But it's only when we've done it the first time, we learned so much from the first time about how it works and stuff. And like, now we look at what we did then. Last time we got signed, and it basically, apart from the fact we got a bit of money, not very much, and we got to go on tour like nationally, and someone else paid for it. That was kind of the only difference really. Otherwise, we were just basically doing it ourselves, still just doing the same thing. But we didn't really think that there was a problem with that. We were just kind of getting on with it. And then, like this time, as soon as we got signed, things started happening. You know, like people work for people, and we, you know, there's loads and loads of people who work for us, and get some, you know, got a radio plug. We didn't have one of those really first press people. Any comments? Go quiet.
I'm trying to get a word in edgeways, you know, yeah? And I'm biding my time, yeah?
The difference this time,
formulating my answers.
The difference for you this time is kind of that you've got a better team of people around you, is that what you're saying?
I think lots and lots of things, but it was just basically last time, or the first time, you know, you don't know what to expect from referee. You think that when you get signed, I think this is the thing, when you get, we got signed, we kind of thought when we got signed, that was it, the hard bit was over. So you get signed, and then somehow this record company that you signed to makes everyone like you and buy your records, and then you know, you are successful. But actually, what actually you learn is that that's just when the hard work starts, when you get signed, and so then you've got to lots of touring, and you've got to, rather than, you know, you might have convinced everyone in Leeds that you're good, then you've got to convince everyone in the world, I suppose, depending on how many records you want to sell. It's not easier. It's made easier because you've got people who gradually employ, I think, more and more people. I think that's how it works. Who, you know, do various jobs for you, so you don't have to do them. Take your record to the radio stations in San Francisco. But yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah. So what was it kind of like? I mean, you came back and you sort of, the end of Power, you sort of relaunched as the Kaiser Chiefs. I mean, what kind of you kind of reinvented yourselves to an extent, different set of songs and different. I mean, what kind of brought that about?
It was just not seeing the end of Power actually happen. You know, realising that we couldn't really achieve any more. Yeah, the direction we were going in wasn't a direction that we could sort of sustain. I guess we just couldn't do it. Yeah, whatever the musical climate around the UK wasn't suited to what we were doing. We were too far behind. You know, we were trying to fit in with a scene that had kind of passed, or was definitely had its peak. And who wants to sign a band when the musical trend's on the way down? You know. So we tried. You know, part of the deal with Parva ended and got taken away from us, and that was it, finished. And then, as Parva, we wrote some new songs that weren't included in our record, I think, and even those were progression from the Parva sound, but still just not right. You know, it wasn't us. It didn't. You know, and we started to realise that, I think. And then it got to reach the point where we just didn't have. We thought, well, we're not going to get signed like this again. We want to make records for a living. We want to go on tour. This is what we want to do for our livings. We just couldn't see it happening. So that's when we kind of, there was a moment that we reached at rehearsals when we were like, right, let's effectively split up and reform 30 seconds later. You know. But then, at least in our head, mentally, yeah, and psychologically, it was like, right, well, it gives you a fresh start rather than saying, oh, we're in Power, let's try and write a really good song. But you kind of tied down by what's going on with Power. So by effectively splitting up, so right, start a new band. And I remember straight away the rehearsal, it was like it was a positive atmosphere in the room, you know. And we were excited about being able to write whatever we wanted, right? Because it didn't matter if it didn't flow on from Power. It didn't matter. That was the point. Power ended abruptly. And this was a new sound that was kind of, we were trying to find and discover, and that's what, we were bashing out songs like Oh My God and stuff, and gradually getting there, and that's when we reached, there was other songs before Oh My God that we don't play anymore now. When we reached songs like that was kind of the sound, and we thought, oh, we did some recording as well ourselves, and we formulated the recording sound as well. And it's kind of like, yeah, we've reached, this feels right for once, you know, this is it.
Was Leeds different by that time?
Yeah. There's lots more going on. I think, you know, in the power thing, just kind of go over that. We kind of reached a point where we got as big as we could possibly be in power, which is we were a decent-ish Leeds band. That was kind of it, and it wasn't going to go any further. And then it was
we were breaking the law.
it was a total clean slate to go. The Kaiser Chiefs, we just got there. We didn't know a name. We just got to the same rehearsal room, but we just got there, and it was great because we could just do whatever we wanted, and we could just work out what to do. And there was no kind of time limit in doing it. But I think one of the big differences with the Kaiser Chiefs thing was that we were within the Leeds music scene, because it had definitely grown. Like I was saying about the website before, that's massive, like not massive, but it's really big now. Everyone that's in a band goes on it, just at least a little bit. And
to look for yourself, you always look for yourself. The lying is the saying, oh yeah, it's a total lie. Of course, you always got to look at your own reviews first.
But then me and Pete used to work at the Well, and then you get to meet lots of people. And Nick used to DJ here at the Cockpit. He started doing Pigs, which is really really good. And just like met lots of people, and you know, we're more in the scene. And I think that helped, because we kind of, from that, it helped us kind of work out what we would play. Not that we would play things to make people like us, but you know, watching bands and I don't know, being influenced by
trying to find direction, wasn't it? I mean, that's kind of just find find our place really in the world of music. Yeah, kind of. You watch the bands and you think, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I don't really like when bands do that. And you pick up all these ideas, not just picking up a song and yeah, we're going to rip off their song, but you see things, you know, attitudes or the way bands are on stage, and you think, yeah, they've got something right like that. They're obviously enjoying that for a reason, yeah. And then from all that, and then plus our musical influences on top of that, then we sort of, you know, Kaiser Chiefs. I don't know.
I think
it feels like something that's like being distilled, or you know, like there's been lots of things have gone in, yeah, and it's like you know, you know, a great big, you know, sort of mixture that's finally simmered down, you know, to something, and what's left is Kaiser Chiefs. We've got rid of all the stuff that shouldn't be in the band, you know.
Sure.
I was going to say as well, I thought that us being, well, me and Peter maybe being in as well, watching bands and watching other bands develop, and also. When Nick and Rick were doing Pigs, like bands formed at Pigs, like Black Wire kind of formed at Pigs. It was quite good to see that, you know, to see that and just be involved in it. It was cool.
Sure. So you're not saying that, I mean, Leeds itself, you're saying, wasn't necessarily different by this time. It was more that your place in it was kind of...
that was different, but also it was a lot more. I mean, I think the main difference is, I think that Leeds basically, from the time that I've kind of been active in it, in about, say, 1994 or 5, I started going to the Duchess with Nick when we were kind of underage, and just going in there and watch whatever bands were on, and that was it. And we used to go all the time, like 2 or 3 times a week, watch bands, and that was it. But that was kind of the only place we could really go. And then I remember coming to this place and coming to Brighton Beach here all the time and doing that. But there was for me anyway, a few little things you could do. That was kind of it, places to see bands. And then gradually over time, it's just increased. But sorry, no, it decreased at first, and there was lots of dance music. That was it. It was all back to basics, and the music factory used to be open, and then also more and more clubs and stuff, and more the venues closed, and there was posh shops opening and clubs opening, like the Mint Club and all these other clubs. When I was at university, all those things were opening all the time, and then after that, and those kind of waned, although there's still a few of them left. Then it's just been lots of bands, and there's now, I mean, more and more places. We go away all the time now, but. So I've never been to like Mixington, I don't know anything about it, but I know it's like a new venue. The Vine just opened, and there's lots of people who are trying to do things out there. I see new kind of nights all the time, all with bands, and there's all new bands, and there's more, again, like we just discussed, another group of bands who are trying or nearly going to get signed and stuff. So I think it's just much more vibrant. I think it's like everyone reacting to that dance scene. I don't know.
Sure. I think, you mentioned Pig, and I think that's kind of interesting, because it's almost like a crossover between kind of sort of the club culture side of things and sort of the indie and sort of live music culture. You would never have imagined those two things ever combined.
Yeah, it's kind of dance kids have realised that they like indie music, and probably the roots of all their dance music came from 60s sort of, the Beatles onwards, really, yeah, that sort of thing, yeah, or even before, rock and roll, and.
think
realise it is. I mean, Electroclash was a big thing because it did mix guitar sort of bands with this fourth to floor sort of beat. That made it likeable to both parties. It was the cool dance music that even people into the normal clubbing could then say, "Oh, I'm into this stuff." It's a bit cool, yeah, because it had guitars in it. But equally, people who are into bands who couldn't just go to sweaty indie clubs anymore, and dance to the same tunes over and over again. It definitely brought those two sort of genres together.
That was kind of our thinking, or whatever I was thinking, was that there's so many indie clubs that just play kind of "I'm Resurrection Last," as the final thing in the night, and lots of things like that, and play all the same songs that you've heard lots and lots of times.
That's 14 years ago.
And they're all good. They are good at the club now. They are good in their own way, but it was just to try and do something a club that was a bit different. Really, I think that was the point of it. I think that's the same for lots. There's quite a few of those clubs you notice around the country. I think they've kind of helped the new guitar bands to get noticed because it's music for all, and so people who like dance music maybe like a bit of Electroclash, and then they've actually now got into bands because the progression made them. Sure.
Is there anyone else sort of around Leeds that you rate at the moment then? Have you get to see them?
I've not really seen anybody I've known for ages. I've got that Dance to the Radio thing, I'm sure there's someone there that I like.
I
like Robocrash comedy, love you.
Yeah, that is good.
I don't know, we always say the Cribs, but they're too big for the
I guess if you look at newer bands and stuff.
I don't know, I'm afraid. Do you know?
I think we used to work at we left Jazz as well about a year or so ago now. Over a year, I think. We used to see bands all the time, didn't we?
I like the setup, but I don't know how they're doing.
They're doing alright, I think. I mean, they had that split with Ford Russia, so that I think they could get it play on the map.
Cool. I had a weird experience where we were in Austin, and I was talking to Stephen Mack, which is the best thing is it's almost like on your own personal radio. And we were talking about this time on Ford Russia and how much you liked them. She's good.
Yeah.
Who's saying
Unexploded Shells.
Okay.
That's my band.
We'll mention them.
Playing the Primrose on Friday.
He said, Stephen Mack said he thought that Hull, Leeds and Sheffield were the new London places to be. Hull? She's all places that Sandman is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
So I don't know if that's a coincidence or whether they're driving the new music.
I don't know. I'm not involved with Sandman anymore.
Oh really?
Plug it without sounding like a bastard.
Oh really? Today? You were in it today?
Oh, well, I'll do your review. What do you think of Sandman? Has it been in sort of a usual?
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's good.
I used to read it on the bar just as well all the time. Like, I remember the issue one, I remember coming out and like lots of fanzines are okay, but they're,
not well written and not well presented. That's often the problem.
Irregular and erratic and all blah blah blah. But Sandman seemed to have a good idea. I think it came out of Sheffield first, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it had a good idea what it was doing. It just came. Then it's not the glossiest thing in the world, but it's good and the content is good, and it's just
They have a nice article, don't they?
That's the first one I was read for a while, but yeah, I just thought it was it's just you just pick up you see the Fly as well, which I quite like the Fly.
Yeah.
It's a free magazine. It's actually interesting. It's kind of like the Leeds music team on paper, isn't it?
That's it. Alright, probably last question, I guess. Is there anything you'd sort of like to see change about Leeds?
Like a big, because we've got to the stage now where we can't really play Leeds because we played here. I don't really like Leeds Uni, don't really like the venue, so we played Leeds Met last time, but not so really big-headed. We're kind of too big for that now. So we got to the stage where there isn't really a proper place where you can do gigs. So I'd like it to be a 3,000 kind of seater.
Yeah.
And
That's
the then 3,000 capacity venue like there is in Manchester, there is in London, there is in Birmingham. There's one everywhere in every other city, but there isn't one in Leeds. There should be. It's one of the biggest cities in the country. There isn't one. It's poor.
Yeah.
We like Leeds.
I think we're.
It's a nice place with nice people, and hopefully lots more good bands to come from it yet.
Yes.